Hi everyone. Today's video lecture will explain you the numericals on the concentration terms that we have learned so far. So though we have gone through the definition and the concepts regarding the various types of concentration terms that is used to define the quantity of the substance or the solute present in a given solution. Now we are going to use those concepts or the definitions in solving problems related to the concentrations. So to begin with, we'll start with this question problem. So question says a compound MClX, X is unknown, which is to be defined, is 100% ionized in 0.01 molar aqueous solution. If the concentration, the one which is written in square bracket, represents the concentration. So the concentration of Cl minus after dissociation from this MCl6 is 0.03 molar. What is the formula? Means what is the value of X? Once you know the values of X, we can easily define the formula. So question clearly says this is 100% ionized. So that means look at we have this MClX ionized to give you Mx plus X times Cl minus. So this is the meaning of complete dissociation. Now question says initial concentration of MCl6 is 0.01 molar, which after dissociation the concentration of Cl minus is 0.03 molar. So if you look at this is the concentration. Now if you look at this molar ratio, 1 mole, if you look at this, 1 mole of this MCl6 gives you X moles of Cl minus. That means if I take 1 mole of MClX, this will always gives you X moles of Cl minus. Let the volume of the solution be V, here 1 liter. So therefore look at this, the concentration of Cl minus, that is number of moles divided by volume, is X. If I assume the volume of the solution to be 1 liter, because look at this is molarity. Molarity is defined as number of moles divided by volume in terms of 1 liter. So if suppose we are starting with 0.01 mole in 1 liter, then this gives you 0.03 mole in 1 liter. So therefore the concentration of Cl minus, which is equals to X, is equals to 0.03 total concentration. Now look at this, we are thinking 1 mole gives you X mole, then 0.01 mole gives you X 0.03. So if you look at this ratiometry, this comes out to be, now look at this is equals to 0.01 into 3. So now look at this, if I am saying you 1 mole of this compound gives you X moles of Cl minus. Question clearly says 0.01 mole gives you 0.03. So 0.01 into 3. So therefore the values of X will be 3. That means this is 3 times the initial quantity of MClX. So once we know the values of X being 3, the formula of the compound is MCl3. That means 1 mole gives you 3 moles, because of which the total concentration comes out to be 0.03. So the total concentration in the solution is X, which is equals to 0.03. So therefore that means the total concentration being 0.03, which is equals to 3 times the initial concentration. That means 1 mole of the substance will give you 3 moles of the Cl minus. Because of this, the total concentration of this Cl minus in the solution is 0.03. Hence, the values of X in the formula should be MCl3. Let's look at this second problem. Now we are given a solution of water whose density is 1 gram per ml. Then now we have to find the molarity of the solution. Now sometimes in question this may be given as 1 gram per cc centimeter cube, which is equals to 1 gram per centimeter cube, which is equals to 1000 kilogram per meter cube. So depending on question we will have these types of information. So now question is, we are given a solution of water whose density is 1 gram per ml or 1 gram per centimeter cube or 1000 gram in 1 liter. So now look at this, if this is the question, then we have to convert this in terms of the concentration of water expressed in terms of molarity. Now the strategy that will be followed is, we define this molarity as number of moles divided by volume taken in terms of liter. Number of moles is defined as mass of the given substance divided by molar mass into volume taken in terms of liter. Now question says density is given. Now we have to use the concept of density. So question says density, which is given as mass by volume. So this is given as 1 gram in 1 ml. So this comes out to be 1000 gram is present in 1 liter. So if I take 1 liter of solution, so therefore mass of water is equals to 1000 gram. Volume of solution is 1 liter. So if density says 1 gram is present in 1 ml, that means 1000 gram is present in 1 liter. So if I take a 1 liter of this water solution, the mass of water that contained in 1 liter of the solution is 1000 grams. So we have the mass of water to be 1000 gram. Volume of solution is 1 liter. So therefore, now by using this definition, molarity of this water is, mass is 1000 gram because we have this value. Molar mass of water is 18. Volume is considered to be 1 liter. So this comes out to be, so 1000 divided by 18. So this is molar, which is equals to 55.56 molar. So that means what I am trying to show is the concentration of the pure water whose density is 1 gram per centimeter cube or 1 gram per ml or 1000 kilogram per meter cube. This is always a constant, that is 55.56. So that means 1 gram per ml, the density of solution being 1 gram per ml or 1 gram per cc, the number of moles of water present is 55.566. The mass of water contained is 1000 gram, volume is 1 liter, so the number of moles comes out to be 55.56, and since volume being 1 liter, the concentration is 55.56 molar, number of moles divided by volume. We have next problem. In a container, we take water and glucose in the ratio 1:10 by mass. So question says, then what is the mole fraction of each component in the mixture? So the strategy is, we have to define the mole fraction. So mole fraction of any component is equals to number of moles of any component divided by total number of moles. So it means to define the mole fraction, we need to have number of moles of water as well as glucose. So we have to define the number of moles of water and number of moles of glucose. which is taken in the ratio of 1 by 10 of their mass. So now look at this. Let the mass of water be x into 1, then mass of glucose will be 10x, so that ratio comes out to be 1:10. So now if the mass of water is x, then the number of moles of water is equals to x by 18, that is mass divided by molar mass. Number of moles is mass divided by molar mass. Molar mass of water is 18. So similarly, number of moles of glucose will be 10x divided by 180. Molar mass of glucose is 180. So this again comes out to be x by 18. Now look at this. Number of moles of water and the number of moles of glucose being same. So if the number of moles are same, then the mole fraction will also be same. So therefore, mole fraction of water is equals to number of moles of water divided by total number of moles. So number of moles of water is x by 18. This is x by 18 plus x by 18, that is twice x by 18. So this comes out to be half. Similarly, number of moles of glucose is equals to 1 minus number of moles of water, which is equals to half, or we can say the case to get the same. This is number of moles of glucose divided by total number of moles. So this is again x by 18 divided by twice x by 18, which comes out to be half. So first thing is, what is the mole fraction? For this mass ratio, we take a common species to be x, so that ratio comes out to be 1:10. We know the molecular mass. Once the number of moles are same, then the mole fraction will also be identical. Now look at this next part of the problem. How many grams of this substance, barium chloride, with 2 water molecules of crystallization, whose molar mass is given as 244, should be taken to prepare 500 ml of 0.04 molar solution of Cl minus. So the concentration of solution is expressed in terms of the concentration of Cl minus. Now we have to find the grams of barium chloride to be taken to prepare this much concentration of Cl minus in 500 ml. So now look at this. This Cl minus is coming from barium chloride. So look at this. Barium chloride to water, these on ionization will gives you barium plus 2 Cl minus plus 2 water molecules of crystallization. So look at this. 1 mole, look at this balance reaction. 1 mole of this substance gives you 2 moles of Cl minus. Therefore, number of moles of BaCl2 to water should be equals to half of the number of moles of Cl minus. That is, because this 1 is giving you half, or 2 moles gives you 1 mole, so 1 mole will give you half mole. So therefore, the concentration of this BaCl2 2H2O should be equals to half of the concentration of Cl minus, which is equals to 0.074 divided by 2, that is 0.037 molar. So we know the concentration. So this concentration is defined in terms of molarity. So this being in molarity, this concentration is defined as number of moles divided by volume, which is equals to 0.037. Number of moles is equals to 0.037 times volume, number of moles is mass divided by molar mass, which is equals to 0.037 into volume. So therefore mass of the substance to be taken is equals to 0.037 into volume into molar mass. So this is 0.037 into volume is 500 ml. So that is 0.5 liter into molar mass is 244. So this concentration, for defining the molarity, volume is taken in terms of liter. So since this is 500 ml, so this is to be converted into liter. So this much gram of barium chloride should be taken to give a solution of 0.074 molar Cl minus in 500 ml. So what we are doing is we are correlating the number of moles of Cl minus from the number of moles of barium chloride. So if we have look at this, we have 1:2 ratio. That means total number of moles of barium chloride to be taken is half of the number of moles of Cl minus. From this we take the concentration term. Now let's look at the next problem. We have a solution of potassium sulfate whose initial concentration is 0.188 molar. Initial volume of the solution is 135 ml. Now the solution is evaporated, so that some water molecule is removed, and when the final volume comes out to be 105 ml. So what is the final concentration of the solution? Now look at this. In this process, we are just removing the water without changing the number of moles of the potassium sulfate. So the number of moles of potassium sulfate before evaporation and after evaporation will remain same. Only the volume of solution changes, the concentration will change. So now look at this. Number of moles of K2SO4 before evaporation is equals to number of moles of K2SO4 after evaporation, because we are removing water, no change in the quantity of potassium sulfate, only the water is changed. So since number of moles of water before evaporation is equals to number of moles of solute after evaporation, so we can say number of moles of K2SO4 before is equals to number of moles of K2SO4 after. So that means number of moles is molarity into volume, because we define concentration molarity as number of moles divided by volume. So before is equals to molarity into volume after. So now before dilution molarity is given as 0.188, volume is given as 135 milliliters, so that is -3. We have to find the concentration after dilution, after this evaporation. Volume of solution after evaporation is 105 into 10 to the power -3. So therefore molarity of the solution after evaporation is 0.188 into 153 into 10 to the power -3 divided by 105 into 10 to the power -3. So this cancels. So this is the final concentration after evaporation. So obviously look at this value should be greater than 0.188 ज़्यादा होगा. So simply we are saying, look at this, number of moles before evaporation and number of moles after evaporation should be same, because only the quantity of the solvent water changes without changing the quantity of the solid potassium sulfate. So we are using M1V1 equals to M2V2 that we are using molarity discussion. Next problem says we have an urea solution whose density is 1.2 gram per ml total volume of solution is 1 liter. So on evaporation of 1 liter of this urea solution whose density is 1.2 gram per ml, 120 gram of residue means after this evaporation of water, the quantity of urea left is 120 gram. Then what is the molarity of the solution? So question says molarity. So we have molarity is defined as number of moles of urea divided by mass of, this being aqueous solution, mass of water taken in terms of kilogram, number of moles divided by total mass of solvent taken in terms of kilogram. So number of moles is mass divided by molar mass. So mass divided by molar mass of urea divided by mass of water taken in terms of kilogram. So therefore this is mass of urea divided by molar mass of urea into mass of water taken in terms of kilogram, or if this is taken in terms of gram, we have to multiply this by 1000. So now we have this formula. Now to use this formula, we require the mass of urea. Already question says the mass, the residue form is 120 grams. So this is nothing but the mass of urea. Now we require the mass of water because molar mass of urea is already given in the question, which is given as 60. So we have to find out the mass of water. Now to define the mass of water present in the solution, some condition is given as density as well as volume is given. Now look at this. We have this density. Density is given as mass divided by volume. So density is given as 1.2. This is 1.2 gram in 1 ml. So this comes out to be 1200 divided by 1 liter. So 1.2 gram per ml means 1200 gram is present in 1 liter. So now look at this. Volume of solution is 1, so we have 1 liter. So 1 liter contains how many mass? So 12 grams. So therefore mass of solution, which is equal to mass of urea plus mass of water, this comes out to be 1200 grams. So therefore mass of water in the solution is equal to 1200 minus mass of urea. This is 1200 minus 120 grams. So this comes out to be 1080 gram. So this much water is present. If this is the mass of water, so this is 1.08 kilogram. So we have mass of water to be 1.08 kilogram. Mass of urea is 120. Molar mass is 60. So we can use this formula to find the molarity of solution. So finally we have to just put the values of mass in this equation A. So therefore from equation A, now look at this, this is the density of solution. So the mass is the total mass of the solution, which is nothing but the mass of urea plus mass of water. So therefore molarity of the solution is mass of urea is 60, molar mass of urea mass of urea is 120 gram, molar mass is 60 into mass of water in terms of kilogram is 1.08. So this is molar. So this is the concentration in terms of molarity of the solution. So we are using the density and the molarity condition. Next problem says we have an aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide whose concentration is 3 molar. Density is 1.1 gram per ml. we have to find the concentration in terms of molarity. So molarity is given, we have to define in terms of molarity, and here density of the solution is also given. So while discussing the molarity and molarity, we have derived a relationship between molarity and the molarity. So the molarity was defined as 1000 times molarity divided by 1000 times density minus molarity into the molar mass of the solvent. This is molarity, this is molarity, this is molar mass of the solid, that is sodium hydroxide. Now look at this, density is given, we know the formula, so we can easily define the molar mass of solute. Molarity is given, we have to find the values of this molarity. So now we have to rearrange this. Simply we have to rearrange to find the values of this molarity from the molarity. So now if you look at this, molarity is equals to m into 1000 times density minus molarity into molar mass divided by 1000. So now look at this, molarity is 3, 1000 into 1.11 minus m into molar mass is 40 divided by 1000. So this is 3330 minus 120 m divided by 100. So this equals to 3.33 minus 0.12 m. So therefore look at this, 1 plus 0.12 m is equals to 3.33. So therefore m molarity is equals to 3.33 divided by 1.12. So this is the molarity of solution from this molarity, provided density of the solution is given to you. So simply look at this, we have to use the formula to rearrange. This is molar solution. Now coming to the next problem, we have an aqueous solution of glucose which is 36% by mass. Molar mass of glucose is given as 180. We have to find the mole fraction of glucose in the solution. Now first of all look at this, to define this mole fraction of nth component is defined as number of moles of ith component divided by total number of moles. So this is the mole fraction. So therefore if I have to define the mole fraction of glucose, then this is equals to number of moles of glucose divided by number of moles of glucose plus number of moles of water. So we have to find number of moles of glucose as well as number of moles of water to define the mole fraction of glucose in solution. Now question says the solution is 36% by mass in glucose. So that means total mass, that is mass of glucose plus mass of water, is 100 gram. This is the meaning of the percentage. So total mass of the solution is 100 gram. If this is the mass of solution, then the mass of glucose in the solution is 36 gram. So we know the mass of glucose and total mass of solution. So therefore mass of water present in the solution is 100 minus mass of glucose, that is 36. So this comes out to be 64 grams. So we know the mass of glucose and mass of water. So now we can convert this mass into number of moles. So number of moles of glucose is equals to mass divided by molar mass. Molar mass is given as 180. Number of moles of water is 64, that is mass, divided by molar mass, that is 18. So we have look at this number of moles of water and number of moles of glucose. Once we have this number of moles of glucose and number of moles of water, we can easily define this mole fraction. So this is 3.6 divided by 18. So therefore total number of moles is number of moles of glucose plus number of moles of water. Glucose is 3.6 by 18, water is 64 divided by 18. So this comes out to be 67.6 divided by 18. So this is the total number of moles. So therefore mole fraction of glucose is, number of moles of glucose is 3.6 by 18. Total number is 67.6 by 18. So 18 cancels out. So this is 3.6 by 67.6, or we can say 36 divided by 676. So this is the mole fraction of glucose. Once we have this mole fraction of glucose, we can also define the mole fraction of water, which is equals to 1 minus mole fraction of glucose. So we are using the concept of the percentage by mass. So percentage means the total mass of the sample is 100 gram. Out of this 100 gram, the mass of this glucose present is 36 gram. So from this mass we are converting into moles, and from this mole we are defining the mole fraction of the components. Now in this numerical, a solution of aqueous solution of sulfuric acid is given whose density is 1.8 gram per ml, and the quantity of sulfuric acid in the sample is 98%. Means out of the total mass, only the contribution quantity of sulfuric acid is 98%. Then we have to express the concentration in terms of molarity of H plus ion and sulfate ion. So now look at this. To define the concentration of solution in terms of H plus ion and sulfate ion, we need to find the concentration of sulfuric acid. Once we define the concentration of sulfuric acid, we can easily define the concentration of H plus ion, concentration of sulfate ion. Because look at this, assuming 100% dissociation, this gives you 2H plus ion plus 1 sulfate ion. So therefore look at it, if I start with 1 mole of sulfuric acid, this gives you 2 mole and this gives you 1 mole. That is, the concentration of sulfuric acid will be equals to the concentration of sulfate ion. So once we define the concentration of sulfuric acid, we are defining the concentration of sulfate ion. And similarly, look at this. Once we have this concentration of sulfuric acid, we can define the concentration of H plus ion. So therefore, the concentration of H plus ion will be 2 times the concentration of sulfuric acid. So in both the cases, we have to define the concentration of sulfuric acid. Now to define this concentration, we have given this density of the solution and percentage by mass. So now look at this, density of the solution is 1.8 gram present in 1 ml. So 1.8 gram is present in 1 ml of the solution. That means 1800 gram is present in 1 liter. So we have this much gram of solution is present in 1 liter of the solution. Out of this, the mass of this sulfuric acid. So mass of sulfuric acid will be 98% of this value. That is, since this is the mass of sulfuric acid, we can define number of moles of sulfuric acid. So number of moles of sulfuric acid is mass divided by molar mass. So mass is given as this cancels out. So we have 98 into 18. So mass is 98% of the total mass. This is 98 of the total mass. So we have 98 into 18 gram. Now this mass is converted into number of moles. So number of moles is mass divided by molar mass. Now molar mass of sulfuric acid is 98. So this comes out to be 18 moles. So since the number of moles of sulfuric acid is 18, total volume of the solution to be taken being 1 liter. So therefore the concentration of sulfuric acid, or which is nothing but the molarity of sulfuric acid, which is equals to number of moles divided by volume. So we have 18 by 1, so that is 18 molar. So the molar concentration of sulfuric acid is 18. So therefore the concentration of sulfate ion is equals to the concentration of sulfuric acid. So this is equals to 18 molar, and the concentration of H plus ion is equals to 2 times the concentration of sulfuric acid. So this is equals to 2 into 18 molar. So this is 36 molar. So this is how we define concentration, or how we express the concentration of the solution in terms of the molarity of H plus ion and the molarity of sulfate ion. So now first thing is we are relating this quantity of H plus ion and sulfate ion with the quantity of sulfuric acid, assuming this is undergoing 100% dissociation. So we have this relationship. Once we have this, means that the total concentration of H plus ion will be 2 times the concentration of sulfuric acid, and the concentration of sulfuric acid will be identical to concentration of sulfate. Then from the density we are defining the mass of solution. From this mass we are defining the mass of sulfuric acid, which is nothing but 98% of the total mass. So this is how we proceed. So in this video lesson I have just shown you some typical problems by use of which we can solve problems related to concentration.